Here we go. So I've had to put a bit of a crazy filter on because I've just had some filler done like 2 days ago and I'm really swollen and bruised all over my face. So yeah, I'm also really not comfortable speaking in front of a camera at all. You're probably going to see my eyes looking around like that because I don't like it. But I knew I was going to have to speak about this publicly at some point because I don't feel like enough's being done. So this man has gone to prison for 15 years, and it's for crimes against other girls. So I wrote a blog about what happened to me when I went to Switzerland, and a journalist got hold of it. And at this time, I thought I was the only person that this had happened to. I thought it was completely on my own. And this journalist got hold of it, and I don't know how she's done it, but she managed to get in touch with loads and loads of different girls where the same sort of thing had happened to them by Lawrence. They'd all signed NDAs, been paid off and things like that. And I'm sure there's loads and loads of other girls out there that haven't come forward because they've been paid off or they're too scared or whatever. Just a shout out, she's called Lizzie Kernick. She's an unbelievable journalist, and yeah, she's the reason that he's behind bars. So yeah, I wrote this blog anyway. I had to take it down. Got threatened with loads of like legal action and stuff like that. But these girls' cases got took to court and he got put in prison. However, because mine happened abroad, it happened in Switzerland, it's taken ages for anything to happen because it's had to go through the Swiss police and then Interpol, and it's been really difficult because things have had to be like translated over to the UK police and all that kind of stuff. So it's been really difficult anyway. I just feel at this moment in time, I'm kind of being passed from pillar to post. Like a police officer, like detective will like resign, or they'll go on the sick or something like that, and then it gets passed to someone else. And then I feel like I'm back at square one. It just keeps happening over and over again. And I am not naive enough to think that a man that's worth 700 million is not able to influence the police in some way. So I believe that that's what's happened. So with these girls' cases alone, he got 15 years. So he could technically be out in 7, and he is trying to get an appeal. I've been told that. So he could maybe even get off even sooner, which is majorly concerning for me, mainly because of my safety and the fact that everyone who's met this man knows that he will reoffend. 100% he will. He's just that way inclined. He's that sort of person. He, after all the stuff he went through with me, he was back doing the same sort of thing to other girls that have got in contact with me like weeks later. So none of this stuff affects him. But legalities wise, I know people probably don't care. They just want to know what has happened to me. So 2016 I think it was, I was like 21 or 22, so I was still like a baby. Like I'm such a different person now to what I was then. I was approached by Lawrence because I had an ordeal while I was in Australia that I can talk about in another video, because that's, again, it's pretty much unbelievable. But I made the news because I was essentially kidnapped while I was in Australia. I mean, it wasn't like that. Like, that's just the way that the media portrayed it to be. But it wasn't like that at all. I've made friends with someone who turned out to be a paranoid schizophrenic, and he believed that he was an alien. He thought I was the same as him, and he took me in a car and said we were going to get on a boat some like literally 20-hour drive away. The police managed to get hold of us anyway, and the guy was sectioned and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, this made the news because it was such a wild story. And so Lawrence had seen that I was this young, stupid, naive girl traveling alone, and he basically wanted to look like a saviour. So he got in touch with me via Facebook or Instagram, I can't remember, And he said, I've got a hotel in Switzerland and we're looking for a social media manager. While you're traveling, why don't you come and do a season here, and you can work for me, you can make money, you can get a beautiful chalet, like it's a really prestigious resort, like the people you'll meet. And this just sounded like the most incredible opportunity. I told my family, and they had mixed views on it. Some of them, like my dad, he was like skeptical at first, but then he like went on his website and he was like listening to his podcasts and stuff like that, and he was like, do it, like it sounds amazing. So I flew over to there, and this is where it immediately just goes downhill. So I texted him to say that I'd arrived at the hotel, so I was just stood at reception talking to the receptionist. And he walked down with his chef, and he just like looked at me, like he was like staring at me, and like it doesn't sound like a big deal, like yeah, he's just a weird guy, but the way he was looking at me just wasn't normal. Like it made me feel on edge. Like he has a certain presence about him anyway because of who he is, and like and the money and stuff like that, like, but the way he looked at me, it was just like he was looking into my soul. Like it was just weird. So he went upstairs with me and showed me my room, was telling me this room's like £600 a night, like I'm doing you a big favour putting you in here and stuff like that. So we were just sat on the floor like talking, and then he was like playfully kind of like pushing me around, and he kept like touching me in different ways, and I was nervous, like I was really scared. I just got off this flight, I'd been flying for like 20 hours or something like that, and I told him that I was on my period as well at the time. So he told me to get in the bath, which was in the same room, it was in the corner of the room, and he said that get in there, I want to see it go red. So I did anyway, because at this point I can't explain why I did it. I thought it was maybe like a weird fetish he had or something like that, but I tried not to read into it too much. But you've got to understand that as well, I was really tired, like I was absolutely exhausted. I've randomly gone from Australia to Switzerland, and then straight away this was happening. Like it's so I had this bath anyway. I'd finished, I got up, grabbed a towel, and I went over to the bed, and he pushed me on the bed onto my belly and just did what he did. Because at the fact that I'd willingly got in the bath and stuff in front of him and stuff like that, like I lay there until he finished, questioning whether it was something that I'd caused or had I just been raped. Following this, night 2, we were sat by the fire talking about like the social media, the accounts and stuff like that. He'd make weird comments to me. He'd say things like, do you want to hide the sausage? And just creepy, like just weird kind of humorous comments. But we were sat by the fire anyway. I'd had 1 or maybe 2 glasses of wine, and I just remember looking at the fireplace which we were sat next to, and the flames look weird, like they looked like super crisp and sharp, and then I couldn't see anything around the fire. Like it was like it was like tunnel vision, like what I was looking at was the only thing that I could see. And then I remember feeling like if I wanted to stand up right now, I don't think I could. And that is literally all I remember from that night. And 9 minutes 37, I'm gonna have to put this in a part 2. I'll do it straight away, I'm gonna do it now. But yeah.